Good morning or good evening in whichever part of the world you are in. Today I thought about doing a guided meditation to attain both Rupa and Arupa jhanas. I will be referring to Jhānasutta. This comes under Anguttara Nikaya 9.36. Then Sāmaññaphalasutta, Dīgha Nikaya 2, and Cūḷasuññatasutta. This would be Majjhima Nikaya 121. What I found is that all these three gives a good foundation and also helps us to attain all the 9 jhanas. And it also teaches what should be expected when we get into each one of these jhanas. So the first step is to pray to Lord Buddha or have a vandana, so that the thoughts which are of worldly get cut, and establish the necessary condition for the jhana. So let's start. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Take a minute or two to reflect upon Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Prostration to Bhagavata, Bha plus Ga plus Va. That is one who knows the causes and condition for rebirth. Arahato, one who has destroyed the enemies of Raga, Dvesha, Moha. Samma Sambuddha, by his own paramis, he has achieved the ending of craving and ending of defilements. With that reflection, let us proceed further. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Saranaagamanam sampunnam. Again, a 2-minute reflection on what is Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. As in Itipiso Bhagava, then when it comes to Dhamma, Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo, and when it comes to Sangha, Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo and Sangha. This reflection removes the Visikiccha, doubt on the meaning of Buddha or Dhamma or Sangha. This is almost a must for us to cross beyond the 4th jhana. So I suggest you go through one of my video on Buddha Vandana, or you can read through on the internet on Itipiso Bhagava and all that. So let's reflect for a minute or two. Now let us establish the 5 precepts. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam Sammadhiyami. Adinnādāna Veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Kāmesu micchācāra veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Musāvāda veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamaddhaṭṭhāna veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhim panchasilam dhammam sadhukam surakhitam katva appamadena sampadeta. Now let us reflect these 5 precepts for 2 minutes. This will establish the kama chanda and vyapada, thinnamida, kukucha, udacha to be lessened so that one can enter into first jhana using etan, santan, etan, panitan. So let's take 2 minutes to reflect upon these 5 precepts. So now let's proceed further. Now we are going to recite etan, santan, etan, panitan. This will be for 3 times, and with that we will be able to cut the initial thoughts which keeps on debating, called vitakka, and pondering over that is called vichara, or rather thinking. So let's start. Etan santan, etan panitan, yadidam sabba sankhara samatho, sabupadi pati nisaggo, tanhakhayo virago, nirodho nibbananti. Etan santan, etan panitan, yadidam sabba sankhara samatho, sabupadi pati nisaggo, tanhakhayo virago, nirodho nibbananti. Etan santan, etan panitan, yadidam sabba sankhara samatho, sabupadi pati nisaggo, tanhakhayo virago, nirodho nibbananti. Now finally, let's establish anicca, dukkha, anatta in the five aggregates, because they've been arising and passing away from the morning till now, or like yesterday, day before yesterday, they all have gone. We cannot hold on to those. So rupam anicca, vedana anicca, sanya anicca, sankhara anicca, viññāna anicca. Yad aniccham tad dukkham, because we cannot catch it, hold it, make it as oneself, and hence it is anatta. So it is like a disease if I were to hold it. It is like a boil or a wound. It is like an arrow shot on my forearm. So there is tremendous pain and discomfort. And if I were to hold it of yesterday's experience, or experience what I had 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, it's like falling apart, and hence it is shunya, without any essence and empty. Now the heart starts expanding. There are no thoughts. Enter into the first jhana. Now this experience would be as indicated in the Sāmaññaphalasutta, as though you have a sponge. Your whole body is like a sponge which is soaked up with a nice bathing powder. Water is being put little by little and nothing is coming out of it, but yet it is all wet everywhere. So right now your body feels extremely light and there is no part in your body where there is no vibration. There is a nice peaceful vibration. So now your mind is secluded from sensual pleasures and you have the joy or the rapture and you're feeling blissful. Now let's come to the second jhana. Now there is no vitakka vichara. But you have piti, sukha, ekagata. So now your body is undergoing change, like you are stepped into a cool, refreshing water. And you are enjoying the coolness of this crystal clear water. So that's the feeling of joy. So let's enjoy this for some time. The in-breath and out-breath is becoming very thin, very light feeling in the body, almost to an extent that you are not breathing. Let's now proceed to the third jhana. Watching like this, the body becomes even more lighter and the body disappears almost. And the mind doesn't have any pain. It's as though somebody has left the prisoner after long stay, and he or she is seeing the outside life for the very first time. The sukha, the bliss which is coming, just watch it. It's like somebody standing below a waterfall, or somebody is in a pond of lily, and enjoying and watching how these plants are completely immersed, but they are in bloom. So your mind is blooming in the same way. The search of happiness is done. It's not only cool and refreshing, it's so peaceful. So this is what you will experience in third jhana. Enjoy this for some time. As we could see, the mind has given its upadana, or clinging on to the five aggregates. It's not holding on to the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana. It is not any longer having nicha sanya. Instead, it has anicca sanya. It no longer has atta. It is established with anatta. and able to see the dukkha. Dukkha of attaching to it. Now there is no attachment. So with that, one can go into the fourth jhana. For the fourth jhana, let us refer to the Cūḷasuññatasutta. What you need to consider is that make this earth, from the place you are sitting to everywhere, covered with a cloth as far as you can take it, covering the valleys, streams, mountains, as though they are just a sheet. Buddha gives an example of buffalo skin spread out everywhere. We can use either cloth or buffalo, or we can make it like a desert sand or sand dunes everywhere. In that way, the raga and the dvesha, liking and disliking, would go away. Consider that, establish it, and once you have succeeded that, equanimity will follow. Now let us come to the Arupa jhanas. The first jhana of the Arupa is infinite space. Now that we have spread out the cloth across the earth as far as we can see. That means there are no buildings, there are no valleys, there are no lakes, there are nothing, just a white sheet. Now the sky and this earth looks the same. So you have space all around. No difference in the space, just the space. Now you are in infinite space. If you can consider the earth as like that, if you come out of earth, you'll find only space everywhere. And as much as your mind goes, that much it can expand. So your mind keeps expanding and expanding and expanding endlessly. Enjoy this infinite space. Now let us move into infinite consciousness. To attain this, you should have experienced the bhutas. I suggest you refer to Sutta for experiencing bhuta. However, bhuta is Pathavi, Apo, Tejo and Vayu. What I need to do now is to observe the Pathavi Dhatu. It's hard and soft, and let go of that. Internally also it is the same, externally also it is the same. Apo Dhatu, like in the case of saliva, sweat, urine, just let it go. Outside also the same, externally, internally also same. So there is no exclusive Pathavi for me, exclusive Apo. Then temperature, Tejo Dhatu. Place I am sitting is either hot or cold. Internally also same, externally also same. Then Vayu Dhatu, in breath, out breath. Circulation which is happening, intestinal gases, abdominal gases, air from the chest to the head and air from below the chest to every part of the body. Internally also the same, externally also the same. Now when done correctly, you can see a bright light which covers you up completely. In the Sāmaññaphalasutta, in the fourth jhana, Buddha explains this. Like a white sheet of cloth covered from head to toe, and you see it like a light, pure and bright, and there is no body, there is just this light. Now everywhere it is consciousness, just the light, like the sun shining everywhere. Do not imagine, you'll experience it yourself. Enjoy the infinite consciousness. let's proceed further into akincha ayatana. In English it is called nothingness. So because of this consciousness, there are no objects which are hitting onto the sense doors. The eye sense door, the ear sense door, the nose sense door, like that. It's like the senses have gone to sleep. So when we sleep in the night, go to the deep sleep state, there are no objects which are hitting the sense door, and hence you cannot say what you were doing in deep sleep. So if a question were to be asked, what were you doing? You can only say I was sleeping, because there is no I which is remaining there. You don't remember having an I there, or myself being there, or herself being there, and there are no impressions at all on the mind. So you don't have any of these sense objects coming to the sense doors. Moving on to the 8th jhana, neva sanya nasanyayatana. Like in the deep sleep, here you don't know whether you exist or you don't exist. That I now has become so subtle that you cannot make out any identity at all. But yet there seems to be an indication of identity. This one you will experience when your sila is perfected. This is beyond the deep sleep state, where there are no ayatanas. And that is what the seventh jhana was, akinchayatana. There should be a very subtle feeling of I. Otherwise, you are almost released, because there is no I at all. Now let us move to the last jhana, ninth one. Here we need to check the three sankharas. Number one is the chitta sankhara, vedana and sanya. First one to investigate is sanya. Need to see whether it is anicca sanya or nicca sanya. By now, anicca sanya would have got completely established. You can see everything arising and passing away. The labels are gone. Labels as in the name. For instance, my name is Vilas. It's a label. Behind the label, this body is fading away moment by moment. It's diminishing. It is decaying. Same thing with all the impressions I have, so-called I. Everything is arising and passing away. Like my birth arose, passed away. Then as a small child, it has passed away. Then as a boy attending to school, has arisen and passed away. As a teenager, again arisen and passed away. As a youth, that has arisen and passed away. As a married person, arisen and passed away. As a middle-aged, that is arisen and passing away. So is the Vedana. Now it is anicca sanya and upekha is the Vedana. So if that is established, Vachi Sankhara has no vitakka and vichara. Kaya Sankhara has no asapassa, in breath, out breath, which changes due to the mind. Only the life faculty exists. The breathing has only the prana, or in Pali pana. That's all what is existing. So there is no other sanya, no symbolization, no designations, no title, no conditioning as this or that. And because there is no conditioning, there is no I, and hence Vedana is also Nirodha. So it's Sanya Vedayita Nirodha. So with this, all the defilements, all the asava will get removed. What remains after this? After this Cheto Vimukti is just the 6 faculties and the life stream, which is also called as Bhavanga Chitta. Nothing else exists. And now we can see that everything is anicca in nature. Holding on to it is dukkha. And everything is there is no personality. Nothing to call as myself. So the tanha is broken down. Craving for sensual pleasure, craving for existence, bhavatanaha, craving for non-existence, vibhavatanaha, is not there. Without tanha, there is no upadana. Without any clinging, there cannot be any becoming. And without becoming, there can't be any jati, birth of a condition. If there is no jati, there is no jara, decay of that condition. If there is no decay, then there is no death. And the entire dukkha cycle is removed. So one should keep on checking on the chitta sankhara, whether it is creating nicha sanya and the vedana of sukha and dukkha. And vachi sankhara, vitakka vichara will automatically happen if there is nicha sanya and sukha and dukkha. And kaya sankhara will happen when the breath changes. So there is excitement when there is sukha and dukkha. But when it is anicca sanya, the vedana becomes upekha. And hence there is no vitakka vichara. And because of that, there is no kaya sankhara except for life faculty, jivita indriya, nothing else exists. So this is how one can establish from the first jhana using etan, santan, etan, panitan to the 9th jhana. You can refer to all the 3 suttas and attain release. May you attain Nibbana at the earliest. May this practice of jhana help you in removing the defilements. So the suttas to be looked into or verified is Jhānasutta, Anguttara Nikaya 9.36, Sāmaññaphalasutta, Dīgha Nikaya 2, and finally Cūḷasuññatasutta, Majjhima Nikaya 121. This would help you tremendously experience the jhanas as Buddha gives simile of what you should do and what you should find. Thank you very much. Let there be peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.